All right, we're going to dive into this. I'm just going to re-record a second review. I did a review previously, and it got copyright claimed and blocked, which is odd. I don't know why they block some and then just take the money from others. Like I just did a Halloween Kills trailer breakdown discussion type video, and they didn't block it, but they did claim the revenue. So I don't know. I'm curious to know why they block some and why they take the revenue on some. Anyway, so this is part 2. Obviously, I'm not going to show longer clips. I'm sorry, not part 2. This is episode 2 from Black Summer Season 2. I don't think we're going to dive into all of them. We might do 3 and then maybe the end, or we might do a handful of episodes just to kind of round up the season. And the main focus while we're taking a look at this is because I got a few minutes now to talk, and it is in the zombie genre. And we, on this channel especially, we love the zombie genre. All right, so Black Summer is, and I'm only a couple episodes in, but the first season I wasn't a big fan of. The second season I'm not really all that thrilled about. I'm kind of take it or leave it with finishing it. It has a frustrating editing style where it takes what happened, then it chops it up in a ton of pieces, and it mixes the timeline around. And on top of that, they do these title cards, so they kind of break each episode into like little 10-minute segments of story. I think this one is like Friends, and then The Shadow, like someone's following them. The Decision, this says. So we open it up, and it's one of the characters we're going to come to know as one of the group leaders. There's a handful of different groups, small little clusters of survivors, and this is the leader of one that's a little more structured, like with the military structure and discipline. So it just kind of shows his, when he's clean shaven, his family is turned, and he's kind of gearing up, and he's leaving. And that's pretty much it. So it just shows him looting up, and this is before shit hits the fan. He puts on his red jacket, and this kind of connects to who we know him as later, with the kind of a beard going on, the red jacket, and he's now in charge of this group. We get this little segment of story where the daughter from the first season shows up at this shop. They're all a little suspect, but they let her in, and then they just forget about her. She immediately walks to the back of the store, lets in her group with her mother, and they come in and they kick out the other survivors. Consistently, we're showing survivors robbing and killing and attacking survivors. It's every man from themselves. No one is like a good person, essentially. Everyone's an asshole. I mean, people do little bits of good things, and it's kind of like the balance. You do a little bit of good, they do a little bit of bad. But what's weird is, and I guess it's in the title, but it's called Prelude for this episode. But what's weird is this is actually what would organically be episode 1 of season 2. Where we left off with season 2, this, as far as what we've seen so far, is the very first moment. Obviously, there's a little bit of a time skip, but the very first moment after the ending of season 2. So season 2 ends where they get to the stadium. I'm sorry, season 1 ends at where they get to the stadium, and the mother reunites with the daughter, and then the group is like, it cuts to black. So the group's been, from season 1, it's been surviving somewhat together, and now we see them with a mini time skip together, and this is where they get separated, and that's how we see them separated in episode 1, and then consistently through the next few episodes, at the very least. And again, it's a weird editing, chopping style where I feel like I know where this chick is familiar. I don't know if she was in 1, if it can't be because they passed some time. I don't know if maybe because I watched up to episode 4 right now. I don't know if she's in a previous episode. It looks like a fresh car wreck. And they zoom in on these people, and it makes you feel like you should know them. I'm not really sure. I'm going to have to, when I rewatch the other ones, I'll have to go back and look. But she looked familiar is all I was saying. Anyhow, so basically they're out scavenging, and that more structured military group shows up and starts hunting them down. This is where they kind of lose me a bit, because we have a good chunk of episode here where it's they're hiding behind the wall, and then the people slowly make their way around the wall as they're clearing the room. And when they get to where the characters are, they're gone. And they're in another part of the room. They do that for like 10 minutes. Everyone's hiding, and they're just now, I think they're going for really tense, like hide and seek type. I didn't get that. I just got a little annoyed because we know that the characters are from season 1. They're not going to get killed right now. That wouldn't make any sense at all. Like, oh yeah, look. Here's everyone from season 1. Oh, they died right now, and there's no story for them. And we've seen the mother and daughter after this point in time because of the choppy style. So we know they're going to get separated and, unharmed and end up at the house. So there's almost no tension because of the editing style or the way they chop it up. Anyhow, so you hear gunshots and you don't see anything. And our survivors, a few of them, link back together, and they find the black guy from season 1 just laying there with a bullet in him. And we hear the gunshots. We don't see them. We don't see him get shot. So apparently these military group, like somebody saw him and shot him. Did he fall here? Did he run here? How did he get away after that? Did they shoot him somewhere and he managed to make it to here and then separate enough distance to where they are now finding him, but the guy who shot him is not here? I don't know. A bunch of this little stuff happens like that, and it's real, like, whatever. Now, it shows how cold the mother is, because the mother's been surviving with this guy since friggin' season 1. And I think because if you watch season 1 and 2 back to back, I think this is a little more impactful. But because they are more focused on a mystery box type of storytelling, which the mystery box isn't like a secret thing. The mystery box is literally the timeline's chopped up, so you don't know how people got introduced to other people and how they made it to certain locations. So you're literally, the mystery is watching the timeline unfold in a chopped up order. So they're so focused on that, we get very little to none character development. That's why scenes like this don't really hit. If they had really deep character development and it wasn't chopped up to the way where this is the first time we see them back from season 1. If we had moments with them, at least a little bit, and character moments, and then she was like, no, he's wounded, he's going to hold us back, it would hit like a hammer. It'd be like, damn. She's gotten cold. She's been with him since the first episode, He saved her life in the first episode. And as soon as he needs some help, she's like, oh, I'm out. You know what I mean? That's rough. But because of the structure, it's just kind of like, whatever. Anyway, so they run off. And the Asian lady pushes the dude down. I forgot her name. She pushes the dude over the hill. And he just passes out. And that's how we saw him wake up in the first episode. Because in episode 1, he wakes up and he's hurt. And then he walks off. And it's like, well, how the hell did he get here? Well, this is how. And they show up. And now we got the guy from the beginning of this episode. This guy, he's all stern and whoop-de-whoop. And this is where they lost me a bit. Because the world is shot to shit right now. Even still, there's so many different locations. It's not like the world, like the grid went down and you had, mankind was left alive for the most part. But civilization, like the structure of civilization, like fell apart, and they went out and looted every store and they stole all this shit and everything's a wasteland. It's not, zombie apocalypse stories are a good chunk, half if not more, turned into zombies. Let's just say half at least. But the surviving percentage of people in that area left to go to some area that was either connected with the government or some type of yada, yada, yada. So they're not all lingering around, meaning a lot of these stores in this location have so much goods. There's definitely stuff to take. But we see these people hunting down people in the street. What could they possibly have? I mean, what in the world could they possibly have? We'll find out later some of these people are talking with each other to figure out where things are, like locations and whatnot. But when they originally see this group of people, they're assuming they're hunting them down to just steal their shit. But it's insane because you got so many different stores. There's no way all the stores are all looted and yada, yada, yada. You could probably just hit like a certain location and the scraps that are left are good enough to steal shit from. So they beat her up and they tie her up. And this is a cool concept for a character story where she's like the prisoner and she bounces back and forth between different groups as the prisoner. Spoiler alert, but I think that concept is cool. But the very next scene is a group of people, or two guys in a truck driving to a location. And what happens? Another group of random people throw them out of the truck and they want to steal all their goods. Now, sure, I guess if two people are surviving, everything they got on them is kind of like close to essential. So I can understand they would be targets if you're desperate to survive. But this group of people, I don't know why they don't go to like your local town or that building. What's in that building? What's in the next building? What's down the street in this block or yada, yada, yada. Again, I'm not convinced with the world building they're doing that all this locations are looted from everything. Just imagine if half your community was wiped out and the other half like left or bounced or whatever it is, and you have a certain percentage of the community chilling. Just imagine how much of your local store. I mean, in my area here, there's so many stores, there's so much stuff, there's so many people, but there would be little clusters of, survivable gear that you can utilize laying around. I mean, they throw this gas tank. Oh my, come on. There's probably tons of this shit just still laying around to be looted. What I'm saying is they can have the looting story, but it's just not believable in this scenario. Now, and another case here where people constantly run up to other people they don't know or don't know if they trust, and they have guns. Like this girl's a gun right now. She could literally be the boss, and that's what we see later. Whoever has the more manpower or the more the better weapon, you got two guys. One guy's a big tough guy, one guy's skinny. Well, the tough guy's gonna own. He's the leader. You got another guy. He shows up with a baseball bat. He's the leader. Another guy shows up with a machete. He might be the leader. Somebody else shows up with a friggin' pistol. You're the leader now. Someone else shows up with a sniper rifle, man. They're going to kill you before you even know. They're the leader. It all depends. You get what I'm saying? So anyone brings some type of weapon. So this girl just shows up and he's still calling the shots. Some of these things make you just scratch your head. Like she could have just showed up and been like, yeah, listen, man. Now maybe she doesn't have any bullets. It's not revealed yet, but maybe. So then we get a random scene called Friends, and it's two random people. Now, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. Well, I don't know who they are. One guy's got frostbite. They're kind of helping each other out, or one is helping the other one out that's really sick. The guy dies. He turns and chases him. And these are the two people that we saw in episode 1, where one guy was running from a zombie and a sniper, we now know is the mother, shot the zombie and then shot the survivor. So this 10-minute scene of these friends apparently is just in there to show that, there are a little tiny sliver of story from other survivors and then the zombies that are going to attack them. I think in maybe a more well put together story or better structured story, showing a little bit of backstory could actually be kind of cool. For here, it just felt like a dud. And I think what really doesn't help is the fact that this is early on into the second season. You're reintroducing yourself to this storyline, the way they're telling the story, the characters. So when you get introduced to characters, you're automatically thinking, I found myself anyhow, automatically going, okay, who are these people? Do I recognize them from season 1? No. How are they connected to this story? They're just random people that die in 5 minutes. Oh, well then, what's that? I don't know. So this survivor from season 1, he's, I think his name's Spears. So he's walking and he notices someone's following him. That's essentially his story. He starts trailing off, but someone's following him. We get little teases with zombies in the snow. I got a bit excited, but they didn't do a lot to it. I thought it was just kind of cool though. I wish we got some type of scene. I know he's a little wounded, but he just takes this guy's gloves, but I wish we got something. There's not a whole lot here. Something was up with the hands. What was it? Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I don't know, man. It looks so weird because there's no reason to CGI, zombie hands in the cold. There's no reason, but they looked kind of fake. I don't know. Anyhow, so he gets some gloves. He walks off. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just the makeup on my screen. I don't know, man. The way it's cut off with this glove, I can't put my finger on it. Even the way they're lit, like how smooth they are here and here. I can't put my finger on it, but they look fake as shit. Again, maybe it's just my monitor playing tricks on me. And it's the makeup type they used and the way they lit it that it kind of throws it off. But it just looks fake as hell. I don't know. That looks so... I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Anyhow. So now we get the mother and daughter. They show up at this building. And again, now we understand. Okay, they got separated. And this is how they get to the building they were at from episode 1. All right, we're starting to see it a little bit. I laughed because she, in episode 1, is a sniper. Every time she shoots, she takes someone out. They have this moment where she sits down to take this shot. And I was hoping they would just have her be like, something where she's like, I'm cold. I can't get it. I'm cold. Something. But they just kind of trail this zombie forever with the POV of the sniper rifle. And we get this moment. Does she take the shot right now where she's cold and she kind of admits, like, be ready to run because I'm cold? She doesn't say this. I wish she did, but be ready to run to her daughter because I'm freezing in my hands. I'm shaking, whatever it is. Does she shoot right here and we see a little, like, on his shoulder and then he chases after them? I thought it would have been cool if she did that, but then she was like, okay, he's running straight for me, and she plucks him off right in the face. I mean, that would have been awesome, but what happens is this. Okay, the sniper rifle goes all the way to the side, nowhere near him. Boom. Nowhere near him. I mean, nowhere even close, and then bam, and then he runs towards her, again, straight on. And that's when I was thinking, oh, cool. Okay, she shot to the side to get his attention. He's going to run straight and she's going to shoot him in the head. Nope. Again, with a lot of these fast zombie type shows, they do tease us with locations that are out and about, but they quickly do what Walking Dead does. I saw Black Summer get a lot of praise because they show these locations that Walking Dead stays in the woods, but Black Summer does it too. A lot of zombie shows do it too. They'll tease you with like really grand visuals, and then they'll put the majority of the show, because that shit's expensive. They'll put the majority of the show in like certain areas. Like here, they're inside a house. Another area, they're inside a little remote, yada yada yada. They're very it's not long. I messed that up. But you know what I'm saying. They don't have them in these grand areas for long is what I'm saying. Anyway, so we have this one single zombie causing all the ruckus. And in a little bit, I think in episode 3, she claps 2 zombies like it ain't nothing, And she waits till the zombie gets close, gun to the head, dead. You know what I'm saying? And here she's like, oh, dear God, this is the first time I've ever seen a zombie. Yeah, it's just, I didn't buy it at all. But this is just where they run to the house and they get into the house and then boom, we have this family that's surviving and it looks a little tense end episode. And I think season 2 was a really weak, I think episode 2 was a really weak one. I just thought, the lack of character development, the whole choppy timeline stuff, the title cards, it's not for me at all. I think the editing style and the title cards, that's like a style choice that can work for some people. I admit that fully. The lack of character development, I think, is crushing it, especially for an episode like this. Like, we have 10 minutes with these two people that it means nothing. Absolutely nothing. The only reason they're there is to show that, yeah, they were human before. I think they mentioned getting to a plane as well. Oh, big deal. We've already seen the plane like 5 times in the air flying somewhere. Anyhow, so they waste time on stuff like this. They could have taken that 5 or 10 minutes and they could have incorporated a scene or two with character development for some of these people. So that way we get more of an oomph. Put a scene with the mother and daughter with Spears before they ditch him. Some emotional character stuff. Not even deep, just some character work. That way when she's like, yo, we're out, there's more to it. He wasn't even like out. Like, you know how many times I saved your life? We've been through this shit together. What do you mean out? And she's like, I'm sorry, emotional. We didn't even get that little bit. Anyhow, thoughts and opinions down below for the second episode. I don't know. Maybe it's up to you guys. Let me know. Hit that like button. Tell me what you think, if we should cover episode 3 or not. I'm unsure. I'm not really too big on it. If you guys aren't really sold on it, maybe as far as doing like little reviews for each episode, maybe we can just do the next 3 episodes that I watched. I haven't finished yet. I think I stopped at like episode 5 and just forgot about it for like a week. But thoughts and opinions down below. I'm done talking. Damn, 20 minutes? I'm done. I gotta go. Bye. I'm done talking. It's your turn.